Psst, it's editing Laynce here. So I recorded way too much footage, and as a result, this episode was like 3 hours long, and I'm not even done editing the whole thing as of recording this clip. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna be splitting it into a few parts, probably 2 or 3. So in the video I say finale episode, but just pretend I said the next few episodes, because there's probably gonna be like 4 in total. Anyways, without further ado, let's crack on with part 1. Ooh, I am so excited for today. Hello everybody and welcome back to Create Mod World's Fair. As you see in the title, this is the finale. It's the end of the series, and yes, I know it's 2 episodes long, but I've been making a lot of videos lately and this is a pretty big series for me. You guys seem to absolutely love the Create Mod stuff, so that's not gonna go anywhere. We're gonna have more of that in the future. But this server lasted for 2 months and I really wanted to at least make one more episode before it ended. So we're gonna basically just make a ton of stuff in this video. I'm gonna make a checklist of everything I need to do. I don't even know if I have the resources to do that. All right, got a book and quill. Let's see, what is the first thing we need to do? Well, I said I was gonna decorate this area with custom trees and pathways and stuff, and I still wanna do that, so let's add that to the list. Decorate home area. All right, next up, this is a restaurant. We kind of need to be able to sell food. Make farms for food. And we have a choo-choo track behind our house, and it's missing a train from us. Now, quite a few of the other members have also made their own trains, and I think Dice has made at least 2, but we've made exactly 0, so let's fix that. Build cool train. I've also noticed we have a new neighbor, the worm that has eaten our land. Not sure what this is for, but it's a dangerous hazard. So how this works is after the 2 months are over, we're going to basically open up the world and people will be able to tour it. But there's going to be some kind of tour, and that means we need to have something people come to our house for. So that could be a mini game, or the food could be an option. Well, the food will be an option. I haven't decided yet, but we need to have something other than food because I feel like that's kind of boring. As for more things to do in this list, I can't think of anything at the moment, but we need to pick one of these to get started on. And I think we're going to make farms for food because that is a problem that I'm sure myself and others have had. I've made a few bacon sandwiches and those will sustain me for a while, but I know at least one of the other people does not eat pork on the server, and so I have to make a vegetarian option for them. And also, I only have enough to feed myself at the moment. So let's go into a creative world and try to test out some designs for farms. But before we do that, I just remembered we have a package here, and I haven't looked in this. Ooh, that's gonna be nice. Okay, we get to need train controls for the train later on, and I'm sure we can find some reason to use the precision mechanism. I don't know what recipes use this. So welcome to the creative testing world. I guess this should give you guys a tour since not often do you get to see the behind the scenes of video making. You'll probably remember this from the first episode. This is the set I used for that opening cinematic. And originally I was planning on building this in survival, but I was really pressed for time and decided we just went into a different creative world and I just copied and pasted it. That saved so much time. And the world's most pathetic cobblestone generator? I think I was attempting to make an iron farm, but then I never went through with it. But we're not here to make an iron farm, we're here to make food. But we should probably figure out what kind of foods we're gonna make before we start building a farm for it. So ideally we want to make foods that people will be able to easily eat, so cake wouldn't work. So things like sandwiches, burgers, potatoes, any of these items would be fine. I did want to make hamburgers, which is arguably the best food source in the game. It only takes 5 materials, 4 of which are really easily produced with the same farm, but the patties are going to be a little bit more difficult. So burgers will be number 1 on our list. I think glowberry custard would work really well in World's Fair, so we're going to do that as well as like a dessert option. Ah, the other mod was Croptopia, not Pam's Harvest Craft. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, I think a really good option would be pizza. I think, yeah, we got a few different types of pizza here. Cheese pizza is the same recipe with an additional piece of cheese, but pizza looks the best, so I'm going to do that. I think another really good option would be churros. Milk is going to be even easier than that. Cinnamon's the only one that'll be a little bit tougher, and we can find that naturally growing in the world. So that one is definitely going on our list. These hamburgers are also really easy to make. I'm curious to see how good they are as a food source. Here we go. I'm at 0. Now I'm at 5. Oh, wow. I'm not a huge fan of the texture, but it looks like a little slider. That's kind of adorable. Plus, it's like 5 times easier to make than the regular hamburger, so I think we're gonna go with the Croptopia one. That's a pretty simple recipe. I think I'll also add donuts, and I think it would be pretty funny to add beer. And maybe one more beverage as well. Let's see if they have any milkshakes. Soy milk, chocolate milkshake. There we go. We're adding chocolate milkshakes. How do you make chocolate? Butter, cocoa beans. All right, we can figure out how to make this. The first thing I want to experiment with is cooking pots and frying pans. If those get consumed upon crafting, then we cannot use those to make stuff. Let's start off with crafting the butter and cocoa beans to make chocolate. It does not consume it here. I'm going to go ahead and count out how many materials we actually need to harvest, and we'll see how big this farm needs to actually be. Oh, we might want to cut down on what we're selling. Despite it only being 8 items, we also have to collect 18 different resources. Sorry, not collect. We have to automate 18 different resources. Fortunately, most of these can be harvested with this farm in front of us, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But things like milk or beef, we'll have to find a different way to automate that. All right, so I've done a little bit of progress. This is what the farm will look like after it's complete. And that should allow us to produce 68 of each type of crop, which isn't that bad if you AFK for a while. Here's another oversight. Cinnamon does not grow like the rest of the crops do. You actually have to strip a cinnamon log to get the cinnamon sticks. So we're gonna have to probably do that manually. Next up, let's do the milk. I think that should be incredibly simple, so I'm just gonna cut to that being done. So this took a little bit more brain power than I was originally anticipating, but I have a system that seems to be working. So basically what happens is you input some empty buckets at the top. It puts those into a deployer, which milks the cow. It sends the filled milk buckets down into the deployer, which will just constantly be filling up this basin with milk, and then that gets sucked up, put into the fluid container. The excess buckets will get put onto this conveyor belt and then launched back up to the top, and then basically just loop. So we have an infinite source of milk. I'm actually curious, I forgot that this existed. We have botany pots on the server for some reason. This might make the cinnamon trees really easy to automate if we just put a hopper pot on there and then the cinnamon sapling. Hopefully over time that will grow and then start producing us the cinnamon logs, and then I don't have to set up a massive tree farm for it. So one of the things we have to keep in mind is how much of this do we want to do manually and how much do we want to be fully automated? In a perfect world, everything would be automated, but because we have limited time, maybe some things we just do by hand. And I'm thinking perhaps the peanuts are just one of those things. Now I know a really easy way we could do this, but it's just, is it worth getting the materials for it? So if we wanted to make peanut butter automated, we would do it this way. But I'm thinking we just do the peanuts manually because I feel like that would be easier in mass. Besides, who wants celery? Celery is disgusting. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this because we're going to do that manually. I've decided. First, let's see. Is it working? It works. It not only does it give us the logs, it automatically strips it. We could put this in our house. You can see I've made a list of all the ingredients we're going to need, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing at least one thing. And there we go. I think that's actually the completed list now. So we're just going to go through here, and whenever we have a resource that we already produce, I'm just going to take it off the list. So for example, we have tomatoes, we have wheat, we have barley. And so I can come down here, right click barley. Let's do tomato and wheat. There we go. Can't remember if I talked about this, but I did get the beef farm working. So we'll have a supply of wheat. I might even have a dedicated wheat farm for that. I'm not too sure. The deployer will continuously feed the cows, which will spawn little baby cows. There's a fan here that will blow them down this tube, and they'll sit here until they grow up. And as soon as they age up, we will slaughter them. Very humane. But it's all okay because we're turning them into delicious food. But now all we have to do is the glowberry and sugar. Glowberries, I think we're also going to do manually just because I can do the spam crouch for that. And then all we have left is sugar. I'm going to do the sugar cane later. I just want to focus on the other ones for the moment because technically we do have a source of sugar. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get rid of this, but for now, I'm just going to leave it there. It does seem we have some developments with the central area though, so I kind of want to check that out. We got a few stands going up. Looks like we got some beetroot geese. Very odd, but I will not question it. Garrett's got himself his own shop as well. Very cool. And we've got something going on over here. I'm not quite sure. This might just be an expansion to the stalls. I think that's actually, yeah, I think that's what it is. Let's start with the beef farm. I feel like that might be the easiest one. So now I have a schematic of the beef farm. I tried to keep in mind that we have limited materials because one of my previous projects was a little bit resource intensive. Speaking of this project, I got a comment about what we should put up here. In the last episode, I asked you guys what I should put on these Nixie tubes, and I think what we're gonna end up going with is eatery. It's the perfect length and it fits the theme of the restaurant, so I think we're gonna go with that. So let's go ahead and put that on here. That's not quite right. And upon further inspection, it looks like the reason it wasn't working is because it placed them backwards. So now it should be correct. And when we place it on, it says eatery. And it's a little bit hard to see, so we're gonna dye that white. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I think I'm gonna dig out a hole just under here. So that way we have plenty of room. So we do not have enough space here. Oh, hello. So I'm gonna dig it out. First farm down. So I was gonna record another time lapse, but then it decided to crash. And by the time I got back in, the whole thing was finished. So here it is. This is the milkificator, the milk extractor, the milk factory. We can see we got some glitched out fences here. That's not too big a deal. I can fix that easily. You can also see I've been breeding up some cows. So we need one cow in there, and then the rest of them are going to go up top. There's an input for wheat, and then this one doesn't actually need wheat because it's just milking a cow. So let's actually put the cow in here just to see if it works. There we go. Look at that. It's working. Yes. I didn't realize that you had to take the schematic while it was in block form, so this entire middle section did not get any blocks built there, so we have to do that manually. You'll also notice we are completely out of sandwiches, so I am down to bread and carrots again. Hopefully we can get one of these farms up and running so we're not running off of baby food. Looks like the infestation is spreading. I have to get rid of these because they will spread. Look at this, look at this. Every time somebody crouches, it spreads. I have to get rid of it. It will become contagious, and eventually it will plague the server. Like it hasn't already. It's like an infection. But okay, now we have ourselves a botany pot. We have ourselves a cinnamon tree. All I need is a piece of dirt, and I think I need a chest. I'll put it with the chickens, and then botany pot, dirt, and sapling. And that is growing. Awesome. I realized we are pressed for time. We have 3 big projects, one of which we're almost done with now. Let's finish up this one so we can get on to the next one. I've kind of devised a strategy for planting all these crops. If you stay on the corners, it doesn't hit you off. So all I have to do, wait for it, and then go, 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 go. And pass. I'm not going to make it. Come on. Yes. Okay, there we go. I actually physically moved in real life, like that was going to help me dodge. And then I've been checking with FreeCam to see if I've been missing any. Did I just get pushed by this? I did. That's really interesting. Huh. So we are now completely finished with this crop farm. Thank God. Look at all that. Crops, we've been taking it so long. I think this one's like almost full. Oh, it's halfway full. Okay. Besides the conveyor belt at the bottom, I think we're all finished. I have a dedicated wheat farm specifically for the cows, so that way everything that we produce from this farm directly goes to our product. So now that I actually have wheat on me, I can show you guys the process of making the sweet rolls. If I just put this on here, it should start splurting. There we go. And then it just turns into sweet rolls. Barbecue on a stick, we now have all the ingredients for this. Melon popsicles, we can go get ice, but we have the melons already. We have everything for milkshakes. Beer, we have barley and hops. Donuts, we have sugar, we have milk and wheat. Churros, we have cinnamon, flour, sugar, and milk. Pizza, we have the ingredients for dough. We can make peanut butter with the peanuts. And finally, the glowberry custard, which I still need to set up, but that should be piece of cake. And that's everything. That is our entire menu right there. We're finished. We did it. I'm gonna go ahead and make them all just to stock up a little bit and to see what the process is like. That took so long. I was out getting materials all day. That last clip was yesterday. I don't have many days left. This server is closing very soon. And well, you can't see it. It's a clipboard. But people are starting to get ready for the opening day. And I'm not even close to ready. So we really need to ramp up our progress here. The biggest issue was not even collecting all the materials. Like, we have the farms. We've made so many farms. Look at this. Look, we'll come down here and boom, everything's done. Well, okay, not everything. I don't think I've actually made any progress since that last clip here, but this is full. This is full. Okay, almost full. We have multiple double chests of items. That's completely full. That's almost full. There's extra storage here. We're not short on resources, except one resource that I could not find for many hours. I was up till, don't tell my dad, I was up till 2 in the morning looking for ice. I was looking for ice. Yeah, I'm overreacting, but it took forever. However, with the completion of the melon pops, all of our food is done. Infinite sweet rolls, infinite hamburgers, infinite barbecue on a stick, infinite glowberries, peanut butter, pizza, churros, donuts. I am slightly crazy. We've even got extra materials in here as well, but we have everything ready for our shop, which means once we have players coming up, we'll be able to sell them products or give it away. I don't know how that's going to work yet. But I am done with the food for now. I'm going to cross that off my list. I am not doing this anymore. And instead, we're going to focus on decorating the area. Because while this house does look nice, it's kind of just plopped on here. The area does not feel complete. It doesn't even feel like I drove here. It feels like I built it here or something. That's what I did. But I don't want it to feel like that. I want to give it some story. Maybe we'll have some tire tracks. Maybe we'll have some trees I knocked over to get here. Either way, we need to upgrade it. In between losing my mind on ice, I also designed a bunch of custom trees. And on my adventure, I also got a bunch of materials we're going to be using, including peat. This is probably my favorite dirt alternative I've ever seen.
Look how nice that is. It's so cool and awesome, and I love it. We also have an assortment of foliage like cattails, shrubs, cyan roses, and a few others. We've got scoria, but that's actually going to be for something a little bit interesting. So I was looking through the various wood blocks, and there are quite a few. Like, don't get me wrong, there's no lack of wood. In fact, if I type in log, there are many more. What is that? You can get the logo? Anyways, there is a lot of wood. And despite the copious amounts of logs, we're not even gonna use them. Instead, we are gonna use scoria, which is a beautiful block. And I will show you why. Look at how pretty. Oh, wow. It is just magnificent. Doesn't that look like a dark bark? I don't like that rhymed. Even so, it looks really good. And the best part about this is not only do we have the walls, but we also have the cut scoria full blocks, and we have another fence, which I still need to figure out where that is, Ember. Ember fences work pretty much perfect with this color palette. Now, I have to figure out where that is, and there might be a book. I can craft that easy. Let's do that. Sugarcane, lapis, and leather. These are the ingredients to make the perfect little book. All right, so we're looking for ember wood.
Oh my gosh, there is a lot here. Is it all in alphabetical? It's not even in alphabetical order. Okay, bad news, it's in the nether. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna start wandering places until I find something that remotely resembles that block. Okay, you will not be an enemy to my blade. Huzzah! Fool! Thought he could challenge me. Does he not know I am the MCC champion of Never? We've got a nice purple wood, not what we're looking for. More yellow, that's not nice. I do not like this color because that means blaze, and blaze equal bad, and I'm running now. Is this gonna... Ooh. Wait, hold on. Ember Purdue. Is this gonna... Oh! This is exactly what we've been looking for. I didn't have to go anywhere. We're getting out of here. I'm going to have to escape the nether with no deaths. It's going to be great. And we're going to have a big party when we get back. Bad start. Okay, well that's really convenient that the blocks are so close to my house. I was not expecting this color tree for that log. Considering the stripped and plank variants are so different, I just looked at fences in the creative inventory, so that's why I didn't see the other ones.
I'm safe. I've got the planks. We're good. Okay, so the first step is going to be getting rid of all these trees, because if we want to make our own, we can't have these ugly birch ones here. Forest gone, but this still looks bad. And that's all fixed. Now this is an issue.
And stuff is gone. I did some major work organizing everything into various categories, and we even had some few extra backpacks. But now that everything is cleaned up, we can finally get to terraforming and prettying up the area. So I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. I've already decided I'm using peat. However, I want some kind of green. I think I'm going to use lush grass because it will blend the darker browns from our peat to the grass in the surrounding area. Also, since I last showed, this has been updated, so now we can actually see the poster, and this is awesome. I'm even there with my cool hat, which by the way, I think I forgot to mention this, but Jam made this incredible hat. That beautiful man and his custom model prowess. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I asked for a straw hat with a tilt with colors matching my outfit, and this man delivered. Look at how good that looks. You've been looking at it the whole episode, but I'm reminding you again, I look fantastic. I was really worried that today was going to be the last day, but apparently we have a few more days to work on this, so I'm not too stressed about it now. But we still need to get a lot of progress done. Alright, lush dirt has been acquired. I also got some grass, mossy stone, and some coarse dirt, so I think we have enough materials to at least begin the process. So yeah, I guess I'll just hop right into a time lapse. So now you watch me do that. Let's go. Okay, so you'll see we have we've changed quite a bit, and obviously this is not done. It's still a work in progress, but look at how much this place already feels different just from changing some of the grass to peat, the best block in modded Minecraft history. Maybe? Probably not, but it's my favorite right now. Over here you'll see we have built up 2 small mountains, nothing too crazy, but I wasn't even expecting to build this. I was literally going to replace the grass and just call it a day, and I decided I needed to do more than that. As per usual, I make projects too big for myself, and I think it's going well. The only problem is I've run out of peat 3 times during that time lapse, and I am out yet again. I have 2 spots on the map that I've been going to collect more peat from. One of them is a few thousand blocks away, and the other is a few thousand more. If I stay on this track, I'm gonna run out of peat in both locations, but I'm gonna scour the earth for more because it's such a cool block and it fits so well. I need more peat in my life. Before I continue working on the landscaping, I wanted to talk about my mindset for how I want this place to look. In creative, I designed a bunch of trees that we're going to kind of scatter around here, and they look very different to the vanilla ones. There are some very tall ones, there are some very short ones, but I want this mini biome to feel very busy, so the trees are very full. I'm not going to show you the trees until we're ready to build them, but I assure you they are very cool. Part of the National Park project on Codecraft is going to be designing a ton of custom trees, and so I kind of use this as an excuse to practice on that. And who knows, maybe I'll take some of those same tree designs and copy them over. So yeah, we have this space behind the cart that's almost cart sized. It might be able to fit through, I'm not quite sure. But I wanted to make it feel like this cart's traveling, and it decided, you know, I'm just gonna stop here. Eventually this place will feel like a forest, so I want this to kind of give off Gravity Falls. Maybe there's like a section in Hogwarts Legacy that I have in mind, but I don't know the name of that place. So yeah, use your imagination. So I built it up and kind of had it at an angle, so when you look at it from this side, you kind of question why it's here, but also it makes this grand entrance into the area. If I have extra time, I'm going to redo this bridge because it's literally 1 block and it's very flat, so I figured if I have some extra time, I might redo that. One of the things I've been trying to decide is how far do I want this to go? At the moment, I have it just along the railroad. However, this straight line kind of looks odd, so I'm thinking I might go at least halfway, so that way there's a transition using the railroad. You'll still be able to see through it, but from afar you won't. And so that might make for a pretty decent transition spot. Something that was very important to me from the beginning, and I had in mind since the start of building this food cart, is that I wanted this view to be unobstructed. I want to see trains coming to and from this spot. I want to be able to hear the trains coming past with their choo-choo horns. That's the wrong vehicle. I want to hear the trains go choo-choo. I have this vision of waking up one morning, getting ready for the day, and then hearing the train come by, opening the door and waving to the conductor as he passes. And so this view right here is really important to me. I'm not sure if these trees need to be here. I might put my own there instead. But for now, let's just focus on the peat, because that needs to get done before anything else can go in. So I will see you all very shortly. All right, it's finally done. Well, okay, it's not done, but we got a lot of it done. The landscape has been peated, and oh, it's almost nighttime. And now the bushes have been put in as well. I went with the ebony leaves because I feel like the green in this block just really complements the rest of the colors. These leaves really contrast the peat here, and they really complement this green. You can see I've also added some cattails around the side of the water. There are some various ferns. You can see we've got splotches of green here. This is actually lush grass, but you kind of can't tell a difference. You can see over at the sides, I've tried my best to blend the 2 biomes together, going from the peat to the lush, and then the coarse dirt and regular dirt to the grass. I think I did a pretty decent job. And while this area does look quite nice, it's not done yet. The biggest thing that's going to transform this place is trees. And I've made a bunch of custom trees. I think I made 6. This is one of the weaker looking trees. You can see this one actually has fences and walls as the trunk of the tree to make it feel like it's still growing, and it's kind of at a curve, so it's figuring out how to balance its weight, and it's not quite a full-grown tree yet. But if I grab one of these other trees, let's do tree 2. Maybe this is bigger. Yeah, this is much bigger. We'll put tree 2 down here. This looks like a good spot for tree 2. So here's tree 2. This is a fuller tree, I think. This is kind of what I wanted a full tree to look like. It's not leaning over, it's full, it's straight up. It's got some branches, but it is covered mostly by leaves. And so this tree is fully aged. And then while that is going, let's go ahead and grab the big tree. This is the one I'm really excited for. This one's going right on top of that hill. This is going to be the most dominant shape in the entire area. And oh, this looks really good. All right, that's looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna do the rest of these trees off camera because I don't know how many I'm gonna do. So I will see you when I get those all completed. Chugga 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 choo choo chugga 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 chugga. It's done. It's finally done. I believe I have made 28 trees. I'm sure I miscounted one, so take that with a grain of salt. But oh man, this looks awesome. But check this out. Once we leave the cave, oh, this view, it's transformed. This place feels so different from the beginning of the episode. It's bizarre how much different this feels. I went back and looked at the first episode, and It doesn't feel anything like this. I am really happy with how this turned out. I wanted you to walk up and immediately see these two trees. Like, that was my main priority. And I did make the mistake of having this set with a green backdrop, but I can't really fix that. I'm not removing a mountain. So this is what we get. It still looks very cool. So I kept this mountain fairly small. There's a little bush there, but this is still the most prominent part of the entire area. These two trees are kind of to block your view, and then you get that reveal once you get over here. And this area is very open. It's supposed to be very flat. And then I wanted to have a pathway that just goes along here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to define that pathway, if it's just going to be kind of natural, but this is what it's going to look like. I've got lots of different types of flowers. I've got these peach leather flowers, which I've kind of scattered in groups of 3 or 4. I tried to keep the coven flowers in either 1s or 2s, so you'll see that various parts of the area. And then we've got 4 big trees in total. So obviously we have these 2 big trees, which are the biggest trees, but then I've got one over here and then one over here. They're actually all 4 of the same tree. I've just rotated them. But if you pay attention to the top of the tree, you can actually see the shape is the same. But yeah, this is the finished product. This is the base. It's done. But as I said before, that wasn't the full vision. The full vision was to walk out in the morning and see a train go by. And so I designed a train, which you will see in the next episode because we are all out of time. I didn't even have a smooth transition from that last clip, so this is what you get. We completely transformed this area, and by far this is one of the coolest projects I've made. I am really proud of the way this turned out. One thing I would have changed is adding more large trees, but even so, this already looks fantastic. And part 2 is going to be even more fantastic. We build an awesome train right here, and then hiding behind that tree there is an extra project that I wasn't even planning on building. Not to mention a massive redstone project where I invented a bridge that shouldn't be possible. And then the moment you've all been waiting for, the tour. Tour might be its own episode, I'm not too sure. But now I've got to get editing on the second part, so I hope you guys enjoyed the first one. I will see you all a little bit later, probably in 2 days. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.